Hey, Evolved Dancer, welcome back. Today we are talking about dosing exercise appropriately. And this is really, I think, the missing puzzle piece to attaining what we want to achieve as dancers, which is to perform stronger and to reduce injury, right? To reach our goals without it hurting. As a dance world, I think we are really making strides toward recognizing that we have an overuse injury problem, number one. And then we recognize that maybe we need to be doing more strengthening, number two. Most of us are on board with that. Even the third step, a lot of us are like, let's implement conditioning into our dancer schedules. Great, wonderful. I think the next step is what we're missing of understanding what exercise we should be doing to reach our strength goals, right? The disconnect is thinking, yes, dancers need more strengthening. That's super important. We should do conditioning. And then thinking the answer is Pilates or it's PBT or it's a conditioning style class in the studio. These things are not addressing strengthening. There's a science to it. Based on what your exercise goal is, there will be different ways that you need to exercise. The Pilates is wonderful for core stability. I use it, I teach it a lot. The PBT is wonderful for maybe learning motor patterns that help you with your technique, certain parts of it. There are benefits to doing body weight exercises. It helps you with maybe your cardiovascular endurance or maybe your muscular endurance, but we are not targeting strengthening. So the overall message is dancers are majority never strength training, never truly strength training. And imagine how much stronger and healthier we would be as a dance world if we all actually truly strength trained. So what is true strength training? Now, there is a chart that you should understand. And the charts basically show us that there are specific reps and sets that we need to be doing in order to reach our exercise goal. If our exercise goal is to improve power, we should be lifting weights that we cannot lift more than a couple times, literally two. You lift it once, you lift it twice, you're done. You can't lift it again. That's what's going to improve your power because that is recruiting the right type of muscle fiber. You're giving enough stimulus, the correct stimulus to the muscles to get the muscle to go, oh, we need better firing, right? We need to be able to quickly come online and produce power and move heavy things quickly, right? That translates into better soda shots, higher ground bump mas, higher jumps, right? That power that you need in your dancing. Now, if we want to improve our strength, we need to be picking an exercise that we can only do 2 to 6 reps of. We're picking a weight that you can only lift 6 times before you're done. You're fatigued out in general. Now, I'll get into a little caveat later, but just for the basics of understanding this concept, we're going to explain it this way. If you really want to truly strength train, you need to be lifting heavier weights. Because if you are doing an exercise that you can do 50 of, you are working muscular endurance. You are not working muscular strength. The next goal is muscle growth, muscle hypertrophy. So you're trying to put on some muscle, which is important for having enough strength, right? If you have tiny muscles, how much strength are you going to have, right? We can also avoid this range if we are trying to build strength without getting bigger muscles. You like the size of your muscles already. The hypertrophic range means muscle building. This would be from reps between 6 to 12 reps. We are building muscle if we fatigue out between 6 and 12 reps. All right. Then the last category is muscular endurance. If you can do an exercise 12 to 20 times, 12 to 15 or more times, you're working muscular endurance. You really are using a different metabolism. Your muscles are doing different things. The cells in your muscles are doing different things than they would if you were lifting heavy. All right. And this is going to train the muscle to metabolically be more fit, which is great. We love muscular endurance. But again, if your goal is strengthening, you should not be doing 20 to 50 reps of something, right? And now, please understand, this does not mean do 6 leg lifts and you're building strength. No, it's got to be you do 6 and you cannot do any more. So you've appropriately added enough resistance that you're meeting this rep range goal. Does that make sense? Let's get into the caveat that I mentioned earlier. We are going to be working to fatigue out at these target rep ranges. However, if we are actually physiologically fatiguing out at the end of every set, it can be really unsustainable to work out that way because it is just so unbelievably unpleasant to work to fatigue. And it also can then reduce how many reps you're able to perform in the subsequent sets, which isn't a terrible thing. But there is a concept called RIR, and this is reps in reserve. And this is what we use as exercise physiologists or exercise scientists to help people achieve their goals in a more sustainable way. Now, what we want to do is when we're doing an exercise, we count how many reps we're doing, and then we think to ourselves, how many reps do I think I could do more? Right? So let's say I'm at my 5th bench press, and I really think I only got 2 more in the tank. You can test that the first time to see if you're right, if you have a spotter, but eventually you'll kind of know yourself enough that you're like, I could really only do 2 more of these before I will fatigue out. That's when you stop. You'll leave 2 to 3 reps in reserve when you're trying to work towards strength. And that just really makes it a lot more pleasant to do the workout. You'll still get the strength gains and a little bit less of the torture. I would suggest doing that. So if your rep range is 6 reps or less, I would go to 6, and then if you're like, okay, I only have 2 more left in the tank, just stop and leave it there. Leave the 2 in the tank, right? If you get to 6 and you're like, I think I got 5 in the tank, you need to add weights, right? That means that it's time for you to up your weight. This is the concept that I think we really need to get out into the dance world, is appropriately dosing our exercise. I love that the dance world is moving forward and recognizing that we have a problem, that we need more strength training, and finding ways to take time to implement conditioning. But the question is, how are we doing it? What exercises are we doing? Is it really reaching our goal? And then how can we implement that in a scientific way throughout our entire season to really make sure that dancers are at their best, performing their best, feeling their best, healthy, well, peak level performance. There's so much more I could say on this subject as far as making sure dancers have a holistic training program, what that looks like, how to implement it over the season. But we're going to leave it at this for now. Please leave any comments below if you have questions, ideas, anything like that. Also, download the Dance Evolution app if you haven't already. This is where I drop more dance science videos. We have a subscription for conditioning where I teach you the actual exercises and workouts that help you improve your dancing. And then you also have the opportunity to sign up for things like coaching if you're a dancer and you want life coaching, or if you're a dance medical professional and you want guidance on that career, we do that as well. We also have freebies for dance medical professionals, for dancers, free stretches, and talks, interviews with leading voices in the dance world. It's a wonderful resource for you guys. Very excited about that. If you're on YouTube, there will be a link somewhere around this video for you to download the app. If you're already in the app, welcome. So glad you're here. Make sure you pop into the community center and say hello, introduce yourself. That's all for now, and we will follow up another time with more videos. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, give it a share, give me a subscribe if you're on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video.